Since I am on the subject of plotting, I would like to move on and show you how to create a plotter that will allow you to save an EPS file, that is, a PostScript file. The benefit then would be that you can open this EPS file in Adobe Illustrator or Adobe Photoshop and create presentation drawings using these different programs. They allow for more flexibility than AutoCAD can provide you at this point. Selecting File, going to Plotter Manager, selecting Add a Plotter Wizard. I'm going to double click. Reading through the introduction page. Once you have read that, you can select Next. I would like to configure a new plotter. This would be for my computer, and I have that radio button selected. I will now click Next. The plotter model allows me to select Adobe as the manufacturer, and I will select PostScript Level 2 as my model. And I will now click Next. Reading the Import PCP or PC2 information, I'm going to leave this alone and select Next. I would like to select Plot to File. I want this to be an EPS file. I'd like to save it on my hard drive or on the server and be able to open it with Illustrator or Photoshop. I will now select Next, and I will give this plotter a name. I'm going to leave the PostScript Level 2, and I'm going to change that prefix and add VTC to it, and now I will click on Next. I don't need to edit the configuration, and I do not need to calibrate the plotter. I will now finish, and I have a PostScript Level 2 printer. I will close this now. I will now select Plot. Once again, I used a different printer, and I can now select OK because I will substitute my PostScript printer. I will scroll down, look for the VTC PostScript Level 2.pc3 file. I will pick that. I have many options for my paper size. I will select 8.5 by 11. And if that doesn't work, you can also select 11 by 8.5. It will rotate the page for you, whether I do it at the paper size or whether I select it at drawing orientation does not matter. I'd like to plot the window right here. Centering the plot, I will try 1/8 of an inch. Keeping my VTC monochrome as my plot style table. Everything looks fine. I will select Preview. Zooming in, it appears to be pretty good. As you can see, my lines that I want coming in heavy are doing so. I'm going to right click and exit and maybe just change the scale a little bigger and preview this. And that's better. It is showing me a sheet of paper that is 8.5 by 11, and my drawing is printing at 3/16 of an inch equals a foot. I will close this, and I will now select OK. If you look at the file name, it gives me the name of the drawing, and it provides the extension .eps. I'm going to double click on my shortcut, VTC files. Notice how the file name disappeared. I will just change that. Simply call it elevation and select Save. The plot has been completed, and I will refer back to this plot or a similar one when I discuss Illustrator and Photoshop. I will open up the EPS file.